Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. Today is 2021st, June 21st, 2021, and today I'm going to do a emacs lisp live coding. So this is gonna be quick. I'm just gonna be focused on doing emacs lisp live coding plus tutorial. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. So first of all, I have this command, for example, something another. Okay, so this is HTML. You can see this is HTML and I want to make a list. I just call this command. You can see the command I called is XahTV lines to list, and let's show this in browser. You can see we created this thing. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, now move cursor here, create a new block entry and something, then A, B, C. Okay, make a list, show in browser. There you have it. Back to Emacs. Now, so this is very convenient. This command is called XahTV line to list. Okay, and you can see the command by going to Xah Emacs tutorial. Then if you go down, there's a section on HTML. You can see view docs, working with brackets, power editing, org-mod, then HTML. Then in the HTML page, near the bottom, you can see a bunch of HTML specific functions, and one of them is lines to list. So this code, you can just put in your init file, then you'll have this feature. Okay. Wait, undo. Okay. So it makes lines to list. But however, sometimes I want, so I read a lot of tutorials, so this is extremely useful. But sometimes the tutorial page is long. Okay, let me tell you what I want. So sometimes I want not just line to list, but block of text to list. Let me show you. Okay, I should find an example. So let's go to JavaScript. Okay, let's go to my JavaScript tutorial to find a example. So let's see. So JavaScript tutorial, JavaScript in depth, JavaScript object reference. Then let's go to array. Okay, which is the most let's say array push. Now we want some command that's a bit more complex. Okay, fill. Okay, fill is a new one. So copy the URL back to Emacs, open that file, show in browser. There you are. So you can see this is a file, and you can see here is a block of code. Let's copy it, paste it again, show in browser. You can see this is repeated twice. Okay, back to Emacs. Now I want to, let's say I want to remove I want to remove the HTML. All the tags. So you can see, so this syntax does this thing, this syntax does that thing. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, let me add a period there, and let me add a period here, and okay, here's a so I'm gonna explain why do I need the things I want. So okay, first of all, make them into single line. Okay, let me demonstrate a few functions. So make them into a single line. Each line is one unit. Okay, each one is one explaining one thing. So 3 lines. So let me shrink. Okay, so now I can make them into a list. You'll see. Okay, hold on a second. Before we do anything, let's copy that. So we have 3 copies. Okay, now the first one, let's see, make a list. Okay, done. The second one, I want to make it a definition list. Done. Okay, now the third one, for now, let's just say paragraph. Done. Okay, show in browser. So there you have it. So here is a list, an ordered list. Here is a definition list, and here is just a paragraph. Now you see they are not colored, but let's color them. So color it, show in browser, refresh. There you have it. So I have 2 different commands. This one makes it into a list. This one makes it into a definition list. Okay, so what is it I want to show? I want to do. I want to do. Okay, undo. Okay, undo. We are back to the 3 copies. Now what I want, normally if you want to make this into a list, show in browser, okay, that's great. But sometimes undo. Sometimes I have let me show you. So you can see, okay, let's move this. So you can see here, sometimes I have semantic units that's more than one line. So I want this to be a, I want this to be a list item, but however, this is in 2 lines, but actually they should be 1 line. So normally, if I want to make them into a list, what I do is I first of all make them actually into a single line. Then I have to remove the empty lines, then make a list to the browser. There it is. Because otherwise, if I call the make, hold on a second. Let me. You see, otherwise, if I call the toList command, that doesn't work. That's you instead you're gonna have 3 lists. That's not what I want. So I want to modify the command HTML lines to list so that when there is a selection, it will consider each text block, like this, as one single list item. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so what we're gonna do? Okay, so how do we start to code it? Okay, first of all, let's go to the, first of all, let's copy this, let's don't screw up this page. Let's go back to their original. So okay, so let's go to XahTalk show. Okay, let's go to XahTalk show, today's show in browser. Then let's work here. Okay, let's put our code here so we can have something to work on here. So HR, so we want to, first of all, show the source code. Okay, let's show the source code. Describe key, press the key, then you can see here's a command, XHTML lines to list. Now go to it. Here is the source code. Now make a backup copy of this source code. Okay, so that's not too long. Okay, now narrow to define. Narrow to define. Okay, so this code is just 60 lines if you don't count the comment. 50 lines. Hello guys, nobody. Okay, so now I'm going to modify this code HTML lines to list so that when there is, let's write it down. Okay, make the current block of lines into let's say we're gonna modify this code. So what we're gonna say, so make the current lines or text blocks into, here's that's, make the current lines or text blocks into a HTML list. Okay, if there is no selection, make current blocks, make lines into a list. If there is selection, make blocks of text. If there's a selection, each blocks of text becomes a list item. Okay, first of all, if there's no selection, make each line into a list item. Okay, if there is a selection, make each block of text becomes a list item. Okay, so basically that's we're gonna modify these. Okay, now if there's a universal argument is called first, then make an ordered list instead of the unordered list. Okay, now we're gonna start to change the code. First of all, how do you determine if there's a text selection? Okay, you go to emacs Lisp tutorial, practical emacs Lisp. So there is a section on writing a command, mark and region. So this page tells you all about mark and region. That's Emacs jargon. Active region means there's a text selection. Okay, Emacs call it region, and there's a active and inactive. Anyway, you can read this page. So what I want to do now is I want to determine if region is active. So how do you do that? There is the answer. Where is it? push mark, okay, region mark, region end, push mark. When is the region active? Mark active, okay. All you have to check this variable, okay. So actually I need to modify this page because I need to modify it so that the mark active is in this format, so it's easier to spot. Okay, so anyway, let's ignore that. So let's back to the code. Okay, first of all, we need to somewhere here. Let's just type here for now. Okay, if mark active. Okay, first of all, let's describe variable to see if we are actually on the right variable. So it says mark active is a variable defined in there. Local and buffer something global something automatically becomes permanent something. Okay, documentation documentation. The neo means the mark and region are currently active. Okay, that's the right variable we want. So if mark active, then make each block of text as list item. Okay, otherwise do the usual each line. Okay, let's write it. Okay, so pretty fine. So this block of code needs to go somewhere here. Okay, let's see. Get reads a bound. Okay, so if there is a selection, then do something. Yeah, I mean if there is a text selection, then do this. Otherwise, do this. So normally, so the whole code here should go to the let's make it longer so you can see all the code. Save excursion to here. So by the way, you are looking at the Kinesis Advantage 2 keyboard. You can find it on my website. Just search for XahTV Kinesis Advantage. That's this one, and the other one is Ultimate Hacking Keyboard, and this is my mouse. And pay attention to how I use the mouse to switch windows. You see, there is no click. You don't see click. Okay, and I don't put, I don't do the palm press. The palm press damages your hand. Don't touch it. Don't touch your mouse. Okay, anyway, back to the code. So here we are starting to add the list items. Okay, then current prefix something something. If current prefix something something. Point mean point max. Okay, point mean. Okay, let me explain. Point mean P1 is the beginning of selection, kind of. The P2 is the end of selection with temp buffer. So did we narrow to region? We didn't. With temp instead, we use temp buffer insert input string. So, okay, this is not efficient code. I mean, it could do better. So let me explain. I guess. Should I explain or should I just blast through and just get it done? I guess let me explain, because not everyone watches all my videos. So first of all, XahGetBoundary thing gets a boundary of the current text block. A text block is a block of text defined separated by empty lines. So for example, here is a text block. This is a text block. So when there's no selection, you automatically work on the current block of text as the input. So when there's a there's no text selection, you do that. So let's see. And then so this returns the boundary of the current block of text boundary, which is cons pair. So here car boundary gets you the first element, which is just an integer. The car boundary gets you the second element, which is an integer. They are positions. They are just two numbers. P1, P2 are the boundaries. Then you extract the string, buffer string, no properties, P1, P2, that returns a string. Then you set it to input string. Then Okay, then you create a new buffer, a temporary buffer, then you insert it into the buffer. Okay, let's work with that. So so we have the boundary. So that's if there's no text. Let's start to move code around. Okay, yeah. So that is that's part of the no text selection. Okay, if there's no text selection, then do that. Now, if there is a text selection, well, if there's a text selection, there are some. So we need to find. You see, the way it works is that. You see, when there's no text selection, each line becomes a list item. So that means we go to the beginning of line, then insert like that. Then we go to the end of the line, then we insert list item like that. We do that for each and every line. And where are we doing that? Let's see where are we doing that. You see, here we go to end of line, insert the end of line, the list item tag. And at the beginning of line, we can also see it if we search for here. Okay, so you can see we search for that. Okay, so the code is a bit complicated because it's also dealing with the bullet or asterisk sign or the dash, because sometimes those are used, for example, in org mod, those are used to make a list. But when you actually turn them into HTML list, you don't need those, bullets marks anymore. So I have code to delete them. Okay, so now first, so I guess when I modify the code, I actually need to understand what are these doing. So first of all, we select the boundary. That's right. Okay, bigger. So we got the boundary. Then we go to we make a temp buffer. Okay, this is not the way I would do it today. I wrote this in 2000. I wrote this code is like 10 years old, not 2019. 2019 is last update, but I wrote it 10 years ago. Today I would use narrow to region instead, but the code is still pretty good actually. But what are we doing? God, I need to focus on this. Okay, save temp buffer. Okay, so insert that, then go to char point max, then insert that, then go to then what are we doing? Then we search forward backward char. Okay, so this line, this block of text, let me show you. Okay, this block of text is, this part is actually. So if the line, basically it says if the line ends in .html, then make it a link. So okay, should I explain? Okay, so okay, so this is getting more complex than I thought. Okay, so for example, if I have lines like that, I want to make them into a list. So if I do, they automatically becomes a link, because let's undo, because they end in .html, so that's more convenient for me. Just press a key, then you have the link instead of manually to link each item. So that's this block of code is doing. Okay, okay, let's go back to the code. So but when it is okay, let's do this. Okay, so let's instead of let's what do we do? Let's see. So okay, let's see. So linkify each line if it ends in HTML. Then what is this? Go to char point min while not equal line end position point max. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so it's looping on each and every line. So then go to beginning of line. When it's the line begin with a bullet, then delete it. If the begin with that, delete it, and so on. and so on. Then we insert the beginning tag, then we insert the end tag. Okay, so this is for line. Now when it's a block of text, then this will be different. So if we want to add a list item to each block of text, it will not, the while loop will be text blocks instead. Okay, so the code logic will be quite different because the while will be rather the while loop, the test for the while loop will be quite different. So okay, so here let's do this. Okay, copy this entire block. Okay, copy it, delete it, then just move the whole thing, here. Okay, just move the whole thing here. Okay, and also copy that, move the whole thing there. So we basically have the original code unchanged. The only difference is that we added a if statement on the alternative. So let's just do this, copy this, paste here. Okay, let me just code it. Okay, I think I explained enough. Let me just quickly code the fuck. Okay, boundary. So each block of text, so there is already selection here, so you don't need that, and there is already a selection. So set P1 to region beginning position. Okay, region beginning position. Set P1 to region end position. Okay. Then input string is that. Okay, I don't want the input string. I don't want to do this. I want to do instead narrow to region. Okay, so and I don't want save is okay. Let's okay. So wait. Save restriction narrow to region. Okay, P1, P2. Okay, then put the code here. Okay, narrow to region P1, P2, and set result string. Yeah, we don't want the result string. Okay, stupid code. Okay, narrow to region, and we don't need with temp buffer. Okay, also remove that. Clarify. Okay, narrow to region, then we don't need the insert, we just narrow to region. Narrow to region. Okay, then go to char point min, go to char point max and insert it. No, we don't need that. Okay, now I have to keep in mind now. Right now I'm keeping a mental picture what's going on with the buffer and the text. So anyway, let me try to finish program. So then we so move narrow to region, then we go to the beginning of the buffer. That's right. Okay, what is this block of code? Okay, so we don't need this block of code because this block of code is trying to make each line, if it ends in HTML, make it link. But now if we have a block of text for, to be a list item, usually that's not just a link. So remove that. So now go to char point min, that's right. Then do a while loop. Let's see what the while loop is doing. So So imagine, okay, so let me show you, okay, let me show you. I have to show the code. I have to show the okay, so that's JavaScript. So you see, so we want to turn, so we first of all, user makes a selection, then press a key, then each one of them becomes a list item. So right now we narrow to region, which is like that. We go to the buffer beginning. We want to add a list item, then search for the next we add that, add that, then we go to the end, add. Okay, so we first of all, yeah, that's okay. I know what I want to do. Okay, so while okay, so how do you check the condition? When does it end? While, okay, I know. While, okay, here's what we want to do. While less than, okay, less than or equal. While the point is less than point max, okay, basically something like that. Okay, while the point is less than point max. Okay, so I think that's that. No, not really. While we want to do while search for word. Okay, no, actually, I got a better way. Go to point. Okay, while. Okay, I search. Wait. I search. Regular expression, search for word. We want to search for word for 2 empty lines, 2 or more. Okay, then optional bound nil, no error, true, count, we don't care. Okay, yeah, let's put this here. Okay, so while that, then we insert. So let's remove this. Okay, so yeah, so while that, we insert a beginning list item, then that's it. Okay, then ignore that. Let's clean up the code so it looks clean. Okay, while we search for word, okay, we need to actually insert it first. So we insert it here, then we search for word for 2 empty lines. So we will end up here, then we insert again, then search for word, then we insert, then we search for word. So until it says cannot be found. So when the cursor is here, then you search for word for 2 empty lines. Wait, when the cursor is here, search for 2 empty lines, then we are here. Then you search for 2 empty lines again. Okay, which is here. Then there's no more. when there is no more, when you don't find two new empty lines, then you don't insert. That's correct. Okay, this will eventually, wait, search forward, we wanted to move cursor. Okay, so move cursor, you have to say move. This is a bit complex. Yeah, so you have to tell it to move. I mean, you have to give it a argument, anything other than just t. Otherwise, it won't move the cursor. So we want to move the cursor. So when there is no more two empty line found, the cursor should be the end of the buffer, like there. Then you do another while. Okay, while we search backward. Again, search for that. Each time you find it, you insert a ending line item. Okay, then this part, don't worry about it. This is if you pressed Control U first, then you want the UOL. Okay, so we can still use that. Okay, so if current prefix arg is true, that means you pressed Control U universal argument first. Then you go to the beginning, add OL. Otherwise, go to the beginning and add UL and so on. Okay, then you don't need that buffer string. Save restrictions. Okay, actually you don't want to save no restriction. Actually you do. Save restrictions. That's for saving the narrative region. Then you say, oh, you don't. Then you don't say delete region. You just because yeah. Then you just get out. Then you don't need this either. So simpler code. Okay. So actually here is our code. Let's shrink it a bit. Prettify. Shrink. Okay, so here's the code. Now the code, if mark is active here, then we do this part. This is today's code we just added. Should we just now try it? Yeah, we can try it actually. So eval buffer. Oops, I made a mistake. I shouldn't eval this buffer. Anyway, let's go back here, expand. Then let's try it, okay? Select. Let's see if it works. Press the key. Fantastic! One shot. But we have a mistake though. You see, so you see there's a UL item. UL beginning tag and UL end tag, but the last one is missing a ending LI. So our logic, there is something wrong in our logic. The last line is missing a ending LI. So yeah, so I know what to do. So all you have to do is like that. Fantastic. Okay. So let's copy, evaluate this function. Let's try it again here. So let's select. This is, I want to make this, each one of these text block a list item. Do it. Fantastic. Correct. Now we are done essentially. Now there's some, cleanup. For example, I rather prefer there's an extra line here. Okay, so minor cleanup. So this adding a URL, how do I fix that? I mean, adding a line. Let's see. Yeah, just add it there. Okay, why not? Okay, now let's eval the buffer. I mean, eval this function again. Undo. Let's try it over again. Fantastic. Now let's see what if we selected some extra empty lines. Do it. Oh, Okay, so you can see this is a little bit problem. You see it added an empty list item, which is not what we want, but mostly we've done. So how long have I been talking? 7:05, that's 35 minutes. I think maybe we can call it a day. Hello, XahBTix. Okay, so actually we almost done, but I want to, I have 20 more minutes. Yeah, I need to go to eat. But let's make this better. Let's make this all better. So okay, so how do you fix the empty one line problems? So for example, so if I have a lot empty lines, you see, wait, that's not good. So if I just have a bunch of empty lines, that's not what we want, you see. And also it actually is wrong, you see, all these ending tag. Okay. We know, we want to do something better. Change the algorithm instead of having 2 while loops, because when you have 2 while loops, they don't, the first while loop will add the beginning, the beginning tag. The second while loop adds the ending tag. But however, these 2 while loops are not connected together. That's not good. So we want one single while loop, okay, one single while loop, and add the beginning and end tag together. Okay, so remove that. Yeah, remove that. Yeah, so we let me show you what we want. So basically we want something like that, that. Something like that, okay. Search forward, then actually search backward, okay. Okay, so first we search forward for 2 empty lines, then we search backward for 2 empty lines to move the cursor back to the kind of like the end of the beginning of the 2 empty lines. Then we insert that. Then we don't insert, we actually we call match replace. Okay, the text will be that, okay, optional. Fixed case, yes. Literal, yes. Another string, okay, so there, we don't care about the others. There. So now there's one single while loop, and this loop will be based on searching for the empty lines, okay? And then that's right. In the beginning, we need one li, and the end, we need one li. Let's just try it, okay? Run the code. Back to here, the test pad. Let's try empty first. Do it. Fantastic. Okay, it's an improvement. You see, right now it's still correct. You see, it's a correct match. It added 2 empty. Now, you see, we are actually dealing with the edge cases because, because nobody is supposed to have like do it on a empty, But anyway, let's try the here. Let's try the common case. It worked. Fantastic. Now let's try a little bit like that. Okay, it still added 2 extra. Okay, yeah, so actually we are done. It works great. Now how do you fix these extra? you can fix it by, first of all, before you begin to do all these replacement, adding the line item tags. Before you do this, you can first of all clean up the actually we can do it. Okay, let's do a clean up here. Okay, so before anything let's do a while loop. Search for word for that and just replace it by, okay, so here is the code. We search for word for 2 or more empty lines, and we just replace it by 2 empty lines. So we kind of clean up the empty lines. Then go to char, okay? Then insert that, okay? So that's that. Eval the code, let's try again. Then now let's try empty. Do it. Okay, it's much better, but still, okay, let's try this way. Okay, so let's try here. Do it. That works. Now, what if we have extra lines? Do it. Okay, at most it added one empty line. We can still do better though. We can still do better by. Anyway, I gotta go eat. So thank you guys for watching. We have the code. By tomorrow, you'll see this in my XahTV mod. You'll be fixed. But basically, you've seen how this code works. Thank you for watching. If you like my stuff, buy my emacs tutorial. Okay, like this link. Thank you. Bye.